Welcome to the Waffle Cafe podcast, your regular plate of healthy, topical fun, debate and banter from the one and only Dave and Ben. Thank you for joining us. This is our third episode. We're on a roll. We're committed. We're there. We're here for you and your listening pleasure, aren't we, Dave?
We are firing them out thick and fast at the moment.
Hell to the yes. We have your regular topics, but also we've dived into a new one for this week, so watch out for that. And like usual, we don't know what the other one is going to bring. It could be something different. Hopefully it's going to be something different because it'll just be boring speaking about the same thing like episode one. But every week we'll have something different for you to try out, suggest, recommend. We try to stitch each other up hypothetically as well, and just to have a little bit of fun and really have a catch up between two good friends.
Very good friends.
Very good friends. Not, well, we know the line. I mean, friends, but not with benefits.
No benefit.
Because we're both married now, so, and that would just be weird. Especially though, David, you're drunk.
Tipsy. So this podcast can go one of two ways. It can either be the best one yet, or it could be terrible if I'm here slurring my words and can't read my notes.
Oh,
so time will tell on that one.
And the big D comes out, the big D. Divorce, not the other one.
Whoa.
We'll keep it friendly. Child friendly. Yeah.
Yes. PG, think's the word, PG.
We're actually going to be rated.
Oh, I think, yeah. We got, surely, does Spotify have stars? Are we 5 stars yet? Or?
Oh, no, I'm thinking like, actually like sensory rated.
Maybe, yeah, PG. I don't think we're a U.
I think we're PG with a oh, is that you get PG 13 plus, don't you?
That's the one, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the safest option.
All right. Should we crack on?
Yeah, let's hit our first topic.
Cool.
Right, so our first topic of the week is we all have good vibes.
Sing it.
I can't sing. No one wants to hear that. We will have less and less listeners going into it. So this is where we all try, both of us try and bring a good news story that we have seen of the week. Russell Howard used to do it on one of his shows, and I think it's just a good positive way to start the week for everyone. So Ben, do you want to go with yours first?
Only if you sing it.
We all have good vibes. There you go. It's like a chipmunk version.
Oh dear. Okay, maybe don't sing it then.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, I mean, similar to last week, like you said, it has been a bit of a slow week for good news, especially the amount of bad news stories you hear in a week with like Ukraine, cost of living crisis, the government, all that stuff. It's just like trying to trawl through that to find something that's positive. It has been a bit tricky and difficult. So I have gone down the line of sharing a Twitter account profile that I follow on my not independent Twitter.
Always plugging his business.
I know, yeah. Well, it's just a community out there, Dave, you know, and it's good to network and to learn about these people. And to be fair, if I never created notindependent.com, I wouldn't have found this person. And I don't know him personally. I just know him, I just follow him on Twitter. And so there's a guy called Mike, and his Twitter handles is Puffer Jones. And what he does basically, he gets given unwanted and bikes that need repairs, and obviously, you know, need a bit of loving. And what he does is that he fixes them, does them up, puts new wheels on them, new parts on them, and then he gives those bikes away for free to children in his area. And he does this for free. And he gets given these bikes weekly by everyone. You know, there could be adults' bikes as well that he gives out for obviously bigger children as well. But he does this off his own back. And when I came across like an interview, as I was doing a bit of research about him, I came across an interview, and he's actually a full-time carer for his wife at the same time. So he does all this, and he obviously cares for his partner. And I just found, like, when he posts all these bikes that he does up, and he has a van as well that he goes around and drops the bikes and picks them up. And it's just such a lovely account to follow, because there's no agenda apart from, and this is his words, that every kid should own a bike. And it's just such a nice account to follow. And you ever want to just follow something nice on Twitter, follow Puffer Jones. He also has a GoFund page, which I think was set up by a friend to help with like maintenance and tools and fuel to pick up and drop off bikes. And so he gets donated, a little bit of money to help him through, but he does this all of his own back. And he's based in Newport in Wales. So that community, and the area around his has obviously benefited so much from his great work that he's been doing, very unselfish work. I was trying to go for another word there, but yeah, what a lovely account to follow.
That is pretty. I mean, if he's doing all of that and he's a carer for his wife, then I'm guessing he probably, if he's a full-time carer for his wife, then he doesn't work as well. So
yeah, I couldn't find that out, and I couldn't confirm it, and I didn't feel very right to message him. And I kind of asked that off, just off the cuff. It wouldn't be very right, and I don't like to pry that sort of thing. But like you said, if he does work as well, he's had to balance that. If he doesn't work, and he's a full-time carer for his wife, and he still does fixing the bikes up for children, I mean, that's still like,
because bikes can be, obviously they're an inexpensive way to travel, but if you're doing repairs on bike after bike after bike, all those little small repairs and parts and stuff will mount up. So for him to, if a friend set up a GoFundMe page, that's brilliant that he doesn't have to spend all that money. But it's absolutely, because I remember as a kid, you always zoom around on your bike, you haven't got any other way to travel. Buses can be unreliable, they're expensive, but getting out on your bike with your mates, zooming up and down, I think if he says every kid should have a bike, I completely agree. It's a great way to travel, and that is a brilliant thing that he's doing for his local community.
And I think we both speak from experience. I've tried to improve my own maintenance game over the years with a lot more mistakes than succession. And you used to work at Halfords. Big up the Halfords crew.
Bike hut.
It's still under the Halfords banner.
But their little bit inside is called Bike Hut.
But do you remember when I bought my first road bike, and I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know nothing. I remember going out on rides without like a spare tube or anything. I got a puncture once, and when I used to live like in Isleworth, and I had a puncture at Fort Park, and I had to ring Panda to come and get me and take me home.
That's a long way.
Yeah, and just because I didn't know maintenance. And I remember when we were trying to replace my headset, so the bearings inside. And do you remember the spacer got so rusted and worn that we took everything to it?
That thing was a nightmare. I think we took screwdrivers, hammers, I think maybe even a little junior hacksaw to try and cut it off. Yeah, that was seized. The lack of maintenance on that bike did not do it any favors. You've come a long way from there on your cycling journey for sure.
Oh yeah, I cleaned the headset on one of my bikes the other day, and I greased it up and cleaned it out and stuff. So I've come a long way, but that's like 8 years down the line it's taken me. So going back to like this guy who's doing all the maintenance, those jobs must have obviously piled up. And obviously, he must be a very, very good mechanic to fly through them. But his time obviously is very precious, obviously with his wife. So for him to spend any spare time just doing all his bikes up and just dropping them off, it's brilliant. Really,
maybe that's his outlet. maybe that's his outlet.
Yeah.
Everyone needs an outlet, don't they? People paint, play music, listen to music, read, whatever. Maybe that's his. I'm guessing that must be one of his happy places in terms of his outlet, and then obviously he's doing it for a good cause as well at the same time. So it's win-win.
Anyway, what is your good vibe of the week?
Right. So yeah, I'm also actually turning up in Wales for.
Oh, you follow me?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I maybe might have been reading your notes. I'm joking, I haven't. So this is about another 12-year-old, and it's the title was Honest Footballer Earns Sportsmanship Praise. Basically, this young footballer, he was playing in this football match, and he set up a goal and scored, and the referee and the assistant didn't see the ball had gone out. But this little 12-year-old, his setup was like, no, it did go out, so the goal was disallowed. So he's actually been, he got a round of applause during the match for being that sportsmanship. He got a round of applause. And then the District Football League, where he plays, awarded him a £25 sportsmanship for his honesty. And he scored 5 goals that game, and his team won 10-1.
He didn't really need the goal, did he?
Yeah, I know. So I read that, and I was like, he probably thought, oh well, just say it was that. It doesn't really matter. Give him a chance. So it is a good news story that he was honest and went out.
Yeah.
I think if it was 1-1, devil on my shoulder, would he have said it? But
that's what I mean. Like if it's 1-1 last minute and the ball's gone out of play and it's like for a cup final game or something like that, I'd like to see what his mental decision would be then.
Exactly. That would really test his honesty, but I don't know. Those are the details I have. But I mean, well done. I think that is good, because I feel, and especially as well, some of the stuff you hear in the news that it says that the spectators gave him a round of applause. Normally you hear some you get these dads that take their kids to like football and rugby, and they're screaming, they're shouting, they're taking it seriously like it's a Premier League or a Premiership game, when it's just kids that should be enjoying the game. So I think that is good as well, that no one was like cross or shouting, saying that, got cross with him for being honest and saying the ball had gone out, basically.
Yeah, because it was 9-1 to his team at that time.
It didn't say how far along the game that this happened, but yeah.
Do you know what? But tell you what though, that I answered, that sort of begs the bigger question, because obviously you got VAR in the Premier League and obviously the wider football world, and you can't really get away with those things anymore. But obviously children looking up to professional footballers and sports people and seeing how they react to rules being adhered to and how they respect to the officials and stuff. Has he picked out from somewhere? I mean, I'd like to know what his influence was, because he, like you said, he could have just kept his mouth shut and got himself an extra goal.
Yep.
Or if he set up the goal, that was an extra goal. I remember when I used to coach my little team, there was a player called George, and he used to watch football like religiously, and he saw what he spotted Chelsea. I think Chelsea did it at the time, or the team did it at the time, that so the trick is a cheeky little thing that footballers could do. So when you get a corner, they put the ball down and they'll touch the ball, right, with their foot. And that means the ball's live, right? It looks like to the other team that you've just stopped the ball, and you have a teammate that comes over, takes the ball, starts dribbling towards goal, and the other team are like all surprised because they're not set up for the corner or the set piece. And it's a bit unsportsmanship-like, but it's not against the rules. And George did it in one of the games that I was managing, and the other manager got like irate and started shouting at the ref, saying they can't do that, they can't do this. I kept my mouth shut because I hadn't given them the idea, but it wasn't against the rules. And I know obviously at the time I must have been like 8 or 9, but I couldn't really criticize him because it's quite clever play. And I know it's slightly different than the ball going out of play, but at that, obviously, when it comes to kids, if they're deciding to sort of bend the rules themselves, is that okay?
Well, kids are impressionable, aren't they? So if he's seen that, but it's interesting because obviously, so he touched the ball, one of his mates, one of the other players came over and started dribbling the ball. So they must have had a conversation about it first, but he said, they didn't go up to you and go, coach, we're going to do this. What do you think or whatever? They just were like, spoke about amongst themselves and went and did it.
Yeah. And like, if they had said to me, like, can we do that? That would have put me in a really grey area, because it's like, it's a bit unethical. But it's not against the rules. So like, it's like, I'll be like, okay, you can do it, but tell the ref, kind of thing. You know what I mean? But the ref allowed it to go because the ref understood what they were doing. Yeah. You know? So it does sort of hold out a bigger question.
The other coach should have coached his team better and said, this can happen. I bet after that game, it never happened again to him.
I remember that moment vividly, because it wouldn't, those sort of things would never happen at football. And like you said, that the boy put his hands up to the ball going out, it's kind of rarely happened. So yeah, fair play to him. But then it does, like you said, if it was 1-1 last minute,
what are you doing then?
Exactly,
mate.
Rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub. That's our new topic line. No, I'm joking. This our new topic is Grub Drop. A little bit like Mic Drop, we are going to share our favourite dishes of the week, favourite recipes we might have come across, some we might have bought in the shop. But the only rule for this, it can't be something that we've eaten at a restaurant or a takeaway, because otherwise Dave will literally just stick with burgers or something. So it has to be something that we've consumed ourselves or with family, or something that we obviously created ourselves. So would you like me to share my little recipe for this week?
I'm dying to hear it.
Oh yeah, I can hear the grumbling. Actually, because you have had a few drinks today, Dave, you probably are feeling a little bit peckish. Maybe this is not the best topic for you to be talking about this right now.
No, I don't know how I'm going to make it to the end of the podcast, to be honest.
Well, you do have your chocky bickies there, don't you?
I might have a few. A fresh packet.
My recipe is actually on our dinner list this week. It is a vegan cottage pie.
I love cottage pie.
You might like this, but you just have to see if there's any gluten in it. I can't, okay, this is another thing. Maybe I have to put it in a bit of a legal notice. I'm not responsible for any allergies or any ingredients or any of your health conditions. Anyone are going to copy this, I'm not getting sued because you can't even bother to look at the ingredients and know what's in it. I'm just giving you what I make. And if you want to try it, research yourself, check and make sure you're not going to get the shits. Okay. And be happy, eat well. Okay. Right. So
end of legal disclaimer.
Yeah, exactly. Bring it on. I know a solicitor. Yeah. So I was influenced by this out of a Joe Wicks recipe book, but I changed it up a little bit because he was using meat and stuff, and I kind of thought, what can else kind of use? So my Grub Drop is my vegan cottage pie. So you need an onion chopped, red peppers chopped, okay? Then you need to make some sweet potato mash, okay? Now, sometimes you used to get that already made, just because it's nice and easier. Stick it in the microwave, it's done. But sweet potato mash, peel it, cut in small chunks, boil it up, mash it up. And then when it's ready, add a little bit of pepper, a little bit of garlic, okay, a little bit of butter as well to make it quite smooth, okay, no lumps. And then as that's all been done, fry your mince. Now you might be thinking, hang on, it's vegan. Meatless farm mince is probably the best one that I've come across, okay? So fry that up, add a bit of seasoning, salt, pepper and garlic. Then add your chopped onion, red peppers, fry it all up. Then add some vegetable stock and then simmer it up. Okay, so you've got all that lovely flavor going in. Then add some splashes of Worcester sauce. Okay, it gives a great little kick in the mix. Then get yourself an oven dish bowl, lay out your mince mix, and then lay out all your mash on top. And then this is where you could either go down the vegan route or not the vegan route. Vegan cheese is literally like what's it's not very nice, to be fair. So I sometimes cheat and I just use like mozzarella or something. So maybe it's not all pure vegan cottage pie, but it's optional. Stick in the oven, grill it up, whatever you want to do with it. Serve. Done.
It sounds good. I've never seen, I don't eat vegan, but so I don't know what the vegan cheese is like, but my mum does a mean cottage pie, and yeah, you've got to have the cheese on top, golden brown, bubbling away on a good cottage pie. So yeah, if the vegan cheese is not the one, then maybe stick to the mozzarella. But
did your mum add Worcester sauce in it?
Don't know her. I don't know her exact recipe, but
get her to add a few splashes of Worcester sauce in the mince. It's a game changer. It really is. It's lovely.
She might. I like Worcester sauce, so I will check with her to see what the situation is.
Have you ever had vegan mince, Dave?
Not really. I like my meat, so I'm not really.
Would you try it though?
Yeah, I'd try it, but being a celiac and not being able to eat gluten, I have enough problems with what I can and can't eat. So the meat is not got any gluten in, and I can enjoy that to my heart's content. So because there's so many other things I can't eat that have been taken away, I'm not taking away something else. I can't do it to myself. No,
that's true. I'm going to say because certain brands use different alternative based. So like Beyond Burger, they use pea protein. A lot of brands would use soy and soya beans, like coconut extracts and stuff like that. Beetroot. So I wouldn't know anything really about the gluten sort of stuff, but honestly, you'd forget it's a vegan mince. You just think it's mince because the texture is exactly the same. If you season it well, it's absolute fine, and if you make enough, it's absolutely brilliant for the next day as well. Because also the flavors sort of ferment overnight if you put it into the tubs and stuff. And it's one of my favorite meals. I have some broccoli on the side. Maybe some cauliflower, broccoli, and you've got yourself a nice little roast dinner. It's good stuff. So,
tasty.
Boom. There's my grub drop.
Best go drop mine then. So mine is from Mr. Jamie Oliver.
Happy Meal at McDonald's.
Mr. Jamie Oliver does not do fast food. You've not seen his program?
Do you know what? I've never been to his restaurant either.
I think it closed now, but the one in Kingston, and yeah, tasty. I think in a past life I was Italian because I love pasta, pizza, all that kind of stuff. So it's from his book 5 Ingredients.
I've got that.
Yeah, it's the quick and easy food as seen on Channel 4. It's
like a green side cover. Yes, I have that.
That one. This one right here.
One. Yeah, I have that one. Yeah, it's not bad actually. Yeah.
So I think we had this meal last week. We have it a lot because I absolutely love it. As I said, I'm Italian, so it's a pasta one. It's the easy sausage carbonara.
I was wondering if I can remember making it, if I've ever made it, and then just take your limelight out. No, I'm sorry. Go on, carry on.
It's good. So it's 5 ingredients, but we mix it up a bit. So what it is, it's the tagliatelle, sausages, fresh leaf parsley, egg, and Parmesan cheese. That's the 5, but we chuck in some mushrooms as well.
Okay.
What mushrooms?
What kind of sausages are we talking about? Like,
just Cumberland. Some Cumberland sausages.
Okay.
But what you do is, so you don't just chuck the sausages in there. You skin the sausages, and then you get the sausage meat and you roll them into balls.
Oh, I think I remember doing something like this.
Yeah. So you get the sausages, you take them out the skin, roll them into balls, start frying them. So you start frying the sausage balls in a frying pan while the tagliatelle is cooking.
Oh, I remember this. And then, no, do you know what? I'm not going to interrupt because that's bad. No, I'm going to shut up. I remember,
do the sausages, out the skin, balls, put them in a frying pan, let them fry, get the tagliatelle on the go. Then you mix the egg and cut up the parsley and the Parmesan cheese into the same pot. And then obviously when I'm doing it, I chuck in the mushrooms to fry in with the sausages. Then all you do is, it is quite quick and easy. Obviously, Mr. Oliver says it's like 15 minutes. It's longer than 15 minutes, but he's a professional chef. I'm not. Once the sausages are all cooked and the tagliatelle's cooked, you take the sausages off the heat, but keep them in the frying pan, and you pour the tagliatelle into the frying pan, and then you chuck the egg mix with the parsley and Parmesan in, and then you mix it around so the egg then doesn't like turn into like an omelette or fry, whatever. It's mixed in and it cooks onto the pasta, and then that's it. You do that for like 30 seconds to a minute, mix it all in, and then chuck that onto your plate. Add a bit more Parmesan if you want, and away you go. Delicious. I love pasta.
Yeah, I remember making that. There's just I remember the icky. Before I used to kind of try to eat a lot of veg, I remember eating that, and I remember pulling off the skin of the sausages is quite an icky kind of thing. Your fingers get all sticky, all binded up, didn't they? And
there's a trick.
Yeah. Oh, go on then.
There's a trick.
Is this your? Is this it? Win at life? Is this your life tip?
It's not my life tip, but this is a top tip. If you're going to try this one, I recommend you do it. It's really good. What you do is when you're taking the sausages out of the skin and you're rolling them into balls, because it's sticky. What you do is do it with wet hands.
Right.
So
Okay.
wet your hands and then do it, and the sausage meat doesn't stick to them.
Okay.
So just make sure you have wet hands while doing it, and it's a lot easier. I didn't do that the first few times. I can't remember how I came across that tip, but that's what you do, and it makes it a hell of a lot easier.
I just remember Norma, my wife, saying at the time, and she's not a big fan of egg, is that it was quite eggy for her. So I think if you're not a massive fan of an egg flavor, you might taste it a little bit more in that mix than you would like in a normal pasta sauce, because that egg is obviously being cooked from fresh, isn't it, rather than kind of like blended in. But no, I remember that. That's a really nice and easy meal to do. And filling.
The longest bit is skinning and rolling the sausages. That's the longest bit. But
skinning and rolling sausages. That is the podcast name for next week. We're just done. Done.
Right, Grub Drop done. Topic number 3, Tuneage of the Week, where we recommend an album, song, old or new. Who's going first?
Well, I'm going to ask the question again. Have you listened to my recommendation from last week?
No, I'm a very, very busy person.
And do you know, and when you do get the round to, do you know how to find the list that we are creating?
I do, because we are adding everything that we recommend to the Waffle Cafe playlist. So again, on our link tree, we have a link to it on there. So anything that you're curious on, sign up to our playlist and give it a listen.
I like how you took my hint there to plug the Spotify playlist.
It's all up here. Don't worry. We're working on different levels here.
Well, I have been listening to your recommendations. I did listen to the AJ Tracy track from last week. And I didn't know it was a sample track. I forgot where it was used, but it was an old sample track that he's used. But yeah, good little tune. Yeah, and I can see how you said it would be good for like a pre-barbecue, pre-party kind of vibe, like a sunset vibe. Be quite nice. Quite nice chilled. So, and I've just been listening to Linkin Park quite a lot. To be fair, I've been trying to listen to a bit of rock this week. To be fair, but that's not my recommendation. My recommendation is of a singer-songwriter. I'll confess, I did ask him to play at my wedding
Oh,
Yeah, just off the cuff. I knew he was going to say no, and also we probably couldn't afford him. I've seen him play live twice. One at a very intimate gig that was in some sort of like old church. That's it. Chris Martin and another guy, his guitarist, did like an intimate gig afterwards as well. It was like a closed set. It was really cool. And then I went to see him. I think it's at Apollo as well. Ben Howard.
Oh, you love this guy.
Yes, my brother loves him even more. To be fair,
he does. Your brother does tweet about Ben Howard a lot.
He's good though.
He should be like his personal PA or something, or work for his promotional team. To be honest.
Well,
just roll it back before you say what the song or tune is. I don't know if you're doing one tune or his album or what, but when you said you asked him to play at a wedding, did he actually reply?
So I just threw an email on his website, and like his PR person got back to me, and I remember the reply was, thank you for your email. We really do apologise, but Ben, it will be is quite busy, booked up. But good luck on your wedding day, and that was it. So even if he said they were free, I mean, with someone like him, you're probably expecting a big fee.
What, 10 grand, 100 grand? What do you reckon he's on for a night?
Well, I think for those kind of things, maybe a few grand at least. I mean, you probably have to fly him over, stay him up as well. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I just off the cuff, I just thought I'd just try my luck and see, because
if you pulled it off, if you got to try your luck, because if you pulled it off.
Oh, could you imagine? The anything though, the most of the people at our wedding probably wouldn't recognise who he was, and probably would have just been because we chose one of his tracks from the album. So my recommendation is his debut album, Every Kingdom, which is a beautiful album, really lovely chilled vibe to it. It'd go well down at a few drinks after barbecue, or just chilling out in the garden or out on the beach. And actually, he's from, I believe, Devon, or down near there, Cornwall, Devon. And so a lot of his tracks are sort of very beach vibe, acoustic kind of tracks. And we chose his track of Old Pine for Norma to walk down our wedding aisle. And I think only my brother kind of clicked on it. Obviously my brother would click on, it was a Ben Howard track. So we got someone to play the guitar piece as she's coming down, because it's really lovely. I'd love to have played it, but I don't know the legalities of playing tracks on our podcast. I don't, if I'm going to get sued for giving someone diarrhea through the Grub Drop, I don't really want to get a double sued, because I've got to get someone's licensing contract regulations.
Do you reckon if he's listening to the podcast now, if we tag him in it once this is posted, do you reckon he's thinking, he might be thinking, shit, I should have played at his wedding? That would have been an amazing story. But
oh yeah, definitely. And and if he is listening now, he's more than happy to come and join us and play a live gig. I mean, I haven't got any money to give him, but
he could come and serenade you in your front room or something. You said you need to fly him over. Where does he live now then?
Wait, say what?
You said you'd need to fly him over. Where does he live now? Because you said he was Devon, Cornwall way.
Seeing as I live in Northern Ireland.
No, sorry, I was just because I forgot. Yes, obviously I was at your wedding. Your wedding was also Northern Ireland, wasn't? Yeah. I see what it is. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Slow on the uptake there.
Don't worry, mate. It's all right. But yeah, other tracks that I would suggest definitely is Keep Your Head Up. That was very successful, popular one. Only Love and The Wolves are my sort of top tracks. So that's my tunage of the week, which will be added to the playlist as this has been published. Over to you.
Right then. So I have also seen my recommendation live.
Oh,
many times, and I'm taking it way back to the old school. It is Mr. DJ EZ.
I was going to say that.
And the recommendation is going back to his first one, Pure Garage 1.
Oh, so this is not his tracks, it's his mix.
Yeah, he has like the first little intros and stuff like that, but he is a DJ basically. So the album is pure Garage One. That is obviously other people's tunes that he amazingly mixes together for your listening pleasure. And it was released in the year 2000.
Wow.
So again, showing my vast age, but yeah, I remember seeing he used to play in. So he started as an underground DJ, and then he got picked up by Kiss 100 and played. I think it was Friday and Saturday nights, or one or the other. I think it was Friday nights on Kiss 100 in the early evening to late evening. That made him boom into massive success. And yeah, I've seen him. I think he mainly played at the Works in Kingston.
Yeah.
Works in Kingston. I saw him there so many times, and absolutely incredible DJ. He could mix. He could have 4 turntables on the go, the CD turntable on the go, and the guy would not even look like he's out of breath. And I don't know, have you ever seen he does these boiler room sets where he does 20-40 mixes on stream live for 24 hours?
Yeah, I think I sent you one maybe about a month ago that I watched, and it was all like a couple of the drops were like, I remember like the crowd at the back sort of slowing down. Then they were kind of not getting bored, but they didn't know where to go. And all of a sudden, he would just drop a few little snippets, and then the crowd just go absolutely mental and just jump around. And yeah, he was natural, very natural, very, very natural.
It's the sign of a good DJ to be able to read the crowd, yeah, to read the crowd to get them back up and going again. So yeah, he's absolutely incredible, taking it way back. He used to, yeah, absolutely love EZ, and he went quiet for a few years, but he's come back around a bit. He's doing a few more bits recently. So yeah, it's good to see him back.
Have you ever had a chance to shake his hand?
I don't think I've shaked his hand, but I've been right up at the DJ booth, close watching him master his craft.
You never got a picture of him, no?
I'd see that like way back when, before like camera phones were like a proper thing, where, because obviously when like now you can take a photo at night in a club now and it would look amazing, but back then it was like 5 megapixels. It wouldn't probably come out even at night.
So you say that, right? But I went to see Judge Jules at Essex University when Panda was there with you.
I was there.
Yeah. And I got pictures. I got his picture. I got his picture on my little 5 megabit pixel camera.
Do you want to go into the story
of what? Of emailing him?
Mm-hmm.
I still have that.
Right.
I still have that, and I'll tell you what. During one of our little pauses, right, I will find it and I'll reread it out. All right, because I still have it. And if you don't believe that's him, that's up to you. But my favourite is still him.
For everyone listening, so when Ben met Judge Jules, basically he was leaning across a barrier type thing to whatever. But Ben emailed him for whatever reason to say, saw you were
like
great,
your set.
that's whatever.
I like your set.
Yeah.
You know?
And someone replied, and he's convinced Judge Jules at the time was massive, and he had time to email everyone back that emails him, and it's not someone like his PA emailed him back on his behalf. But Ben's convinced it's him, and to this day I've told him it's not, mate. It's just not.
How do you know it's not him?
How do you know it is?
Because it said Judge Jules at the bottom of the email. That's my proof that I'm going on.
Okay.
The way he spoke to me. Okay, the way he spoke to me through the email. You know.
Okay. Tomorrow, I'm going to send you an email. I'm going to sign from the Queen. So it says from the Queen. It's from the Queen.
Well, you don't know until you sort of, you know, you've got to keep a little bit of faith, you know. But that's the proof that I'm going on.
Okay.
And he remembered me, you know, when I shook his hand, his picture. I said, I went to him, I've emailed you. And he was like, oh, you're the guy I need to take a restraining order of. I said, yeah. That's tomorrow, did it? Yeah, so I'm here. But the other thing is, when I went to see him, I don't remember a thing about his set. I can't remember any of his like tracks he played because the sound music quality was awful. I just can't remember anything. But and maybe that was just a venue. But I remember obviously go back to EZ. You knew when he dropped a really good track.
Mm.
I think he was one of those DJs that he made sure he had a really good sound setup wherever he was. You know, if he dropped like Flyby, you know, dropped a bit of So Sonic Crew or something like that, you know, it was everyone knew, and it was very like you said, his drops were very clear. It wasn't very hidden. It wasn't like a DJ where it was just like a background DJ and just playing a bit of music. He was there to get the crowd vibing, wasn't he?
It was a full-on performance. He was there as almost like a proper, like an artist singing or playing an instrument. Like obviously the turntables are his instrument, but it was a full-on, performance show.
And I think you should email him.
Okay, I'm going to, and if it replies back saying thanks for the plug on the podcast, EZ, we know it's him.
Keep the faith, mate. Keep the faith.
As always.
Footage of the week time, and it's when we share what we're watching on the box or what we've seen on the big screen, although I haven't been to the cinema in years. So really it's a lot to do with streaming, and we are surrounded by so many platforms these days. Choices are endless, and like we've said before, a lot of our Friday and Saturday nights are just wasted flicking through half an hour watching the Netflix trailers, Amazon Prime traders, arguing with the wife what we're watching, and you just both arguing. In the end, she goes to bed, and you just end up watching Match of the Day.
I'll tell you what is bad before we get fully into it, because you do touch on it with not being able to find anything. You're just watching more and more trailers. At least with Netflix, there's a trailer for everything. It shows you a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
On Amazon, I find, look, that looks good. And then you go there and there's no trailer. And it's like, why is there no trailer? The description sometimes is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
But then with Netflix, they took away the star rating, and now it's just 95% chance of you'll like it type thing because you watch something else. That doesn't show, because they don't. I think what Netflix are doing is they don't want people, if it gets 2 stars, then no one's going to watch it. They want people to watch everything.
Yeah.
So they took away the star, which I think is cheeky and naughty. But anyway, I digress. But
no, you made a good point though, because even Netflix, if there's not a trailer, and that's a lot of for the old movies and stuff where they might have not have got access to the trailer or it's just not available, they will show a clip, allow a clip to be played. It might not be the best clip, but it's something that gives you a taste of what the film or the box set will be about. And I'm not a big fan of the Amazon Prime platform. I find it very repetitive. Mm-hmm. Like literally, you have like an action genre, and then that film will be in the next 3 genres as well. And then I know now that it has a little banner saying Prime, so it shows you if it's available to you or you got to pay for it. But I want to know that I could watch everything on it without having to purchase. You know what I mean? Like Netflix, everything's available. You know what I mean? Where Amazon, they bundle all their free stuff with all their purchase stuff all in one thing. So it just makes it a bit frustrating, and I find it all very glitchy, the platform. So I don't really rely on Amazon Prime too much really for that kind of thing. But yeah, we're digressing a bit. But this is what the Waffle Cafe is about, mate. You know, waffling.
Lots and lots of waffles again, making me hungry.
Oh, yeah, right. What would you like us to watch this week, actually, Dave?
So again, I've gone old, but I've got a couple of things, just so people are aware. I've got a couple of things on finishing soon, which are new. So we'll get to those in a couple of weeks' time. But a film I've always madly loved, and from the first time I watched it, I think it's great. I can't remember how many times I've seen it now, because I
like to guess it. I like to guess.
Okay. It's from 1999.
Right.
It's American, based in America. What do you want? Do you want to give you one of the leading stars in it to narrow it down a bit? Because he's done a lot. So
okay.
Brad Pitt.
Right. Okay. 1999 Brad Pitt. Okay. Fight Club. Fight Club.
Like, you always get mine straight away. I'm terrible when it comes to guessing yours. I'm absolutely shocking with stuff. But yeah, Fight Club. I absolutely love Fight Club. I think it's brilliant. Everything about it, because obviously we're not doing spoilers anymore because I screwed that up probably the first two episodes of the podcast. But yeah, there's twists in that and the other. So I'll do a quick overview like I normally do.
How do you explain a film like that?
Well, I've done my research. I've done what this is from a wiki, so
right.
just to make sure it gives enough detail but no spoilers.
Okay.
So it's from 1999. It stars Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, and Helena Bonham Carter. It's based. I didn't know this until researching, but it's actually based on a 1996 novel of the same name. So I never realised it was based off a book at all. And Edward Norton plays the unnamed narrator, who is disconnected with his white-collar job. And he forms the Fight Club with soap salesman Tyler Durden, who's played by Brad Pitt. And Edward Norton becomes embroiled in a relationship with a destitute woman who is played by Helena Bonham Carter. And yeah, there's violence in it, it's action-packed, and I have seen it many times, and I don't think it's one of these things, again, I don't think it's aged at all, to be honest.
No. And if anyone's listening out there and they think it's actually about boxing or a Fight Club, it's way deeper than that, isn't it?
Definitely.
It's about like the rebellion against society that they've been conformed to, haven't they?
Yeah. The Edward Norton's character's basically he's got struggles in his life, so he's going through all that on screen. The Fight Club's kind of a way to escape the job that he hates, and again, rebelling against everything, society, the government, and everything else that's going on in the world. Also, it's got quite a good supporting cast at the background. Do you know Jared Leto is in it? No.
So as the Fight Club gets bigger, and we'll try no spoilers here. As the Fight Club gets bigger, they have a member who's got very, very blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
That's Jared Leto.
Got kind of like longish blonde. Is it long?
Kinda. Yeah. And Edward Norton has a fight with him. Again, I won't say anything yet, but he's in it. Jared Leto has a bit in it. And also, do you know Meatloaf is in it?
He's in a group. I think that's fine to say. He's in a group.
You know what? Every time I go to watch that film, it still mind boggles me. And at some point, I still get a bit lost. And I still question the plot. I still question things that are happening. And I try to, because when you watch films, you know the twist. You try to spot them earlier, don't you? Mm. And you see if you can try and beat the film before it beats you.
Yeah.
Another film with that is like Shutter Island. And I watched that the other week. And again, I knew I knew the story. I was just trying to get there before it gets me. And it's one of those films, Fight Club, where you still come out at the end thinking, how do I explain that? So then you just resort to Wikipedia.
Google and Wikipedia has the answers for everything known to man.
That is I tell you what, that is a great cult suggestion for this week. It's a classic, and you're very right. It ages very well. You can watch in 10 years' time, and it will still be very relevant. Good one, Dave. I like that one.
Thank you. Can you top mine? Then?
Well, possibly. I've gone box set.
Oh.
And I've gone not so much old. I didn't write down the year that it came out. Actually, I remember the year it came out. I think it came out in 2005.
We can fact check you.
Yeah, I think it came out in 2005. I hope you've watched it because it had 5 seasons, but you kind of only need to watch. You kind of only really need to watch season 1, season 2, because after that it goes downhill and it gets silly, stupid. It just repeats itself, and I don't think it's very good. But season 1 and 2 is unreal. It's so good, and every episode you watch of this box set, at the end, there's always a problem that leans on to the next episode, or as a twist, or you think they've solved everything, but something else then comes up. It's absolutely brilliant. It's on Disney. It's on Disney.
Can I guess it?
Yes.
I'm just going to go straight out and guess it with no clues. Is it Lost?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I think on the side note, people don't really want to waste their time with Lost, do they? I remember watching. Well, I remember watching a couple of seasons and then realizing the last season, I came across like the actual ending, and it was just like, oh, I'm not watching 10 seasons. Be told that I'm not. So no. If that's your recommendation one of the weeks, we're gonna have an argument.
Okay, maybe I'll chuck it in there just so we can have an argument.
Right. If I said these characters, I wondered if you will pick up. So if I said Teabag, Sucre,
Prison Break.
Yes. Prison Break.
Prison Break. Yes.
Prison Break.
Hannah loves Prison Break, but I agree with you because I don't think I used to watch it, but I think I probably watched the first two, but then it got very samey. And I don't think I found out what happened or completed it until I actually got with Hannah, because Hannah loves it. So I'd agree.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't give a monkey's after that, to be fair. I mean, so if people I've never seen Prison Break before, the premise is that two brothers, one has been put into the prison on for a crime he didn't commit, and the other brother is very, very, very clever. And he was actually part of the design team with the prison, so he has access to the blueprints. So to break his brother out of the prison, he gets the blueprints tattooed on his body, like encoded tattoos, and gets himself imprisoned in the same place. He thinks it's going to be a walk in the park getting him out, but there's so many factors, like which cell he goes into, his cell partner being on it, getting to the infirmary. You remember the infirmary, and he had to obviously get in relationship with the doctor. I won't try and give things away. And all the characters that then start to find about his plan or little hints, and it's so good. I remember seeing it in America, like as a trailer when I was coaching, and I remember coming back and telling people they have to watch this because it was just so good. And then season 2, I won't say what happens in season 2 because it just spoils it. But I'm with you. Season 1, season 2, it was just like full on, and every episode was like 100 miles an hour. There was no stoppage, was there? There was no. I never remember watching an episode thinking, well, that's a bit slow. Like, when's it going to pick up again? It literally just maintained pace. And I remember having, I went for a phase of buying like t-shirts with slogans. Like the FC UK t-shirts. Yeah. I had one actually in a club where I'd FC UK me. And I remember coming out of a toilet and the girl stopped me and she pointed at my t-shirt and she goes, I would. And I remember just looking at her, I put my thumbs up, walked away.
So awkward.
Awkward. I got called out. I'm not saying I'm very happily married, okay, but I'm just saying I at that moment I didn't understand what was happening. But I had a t-shirt of Teabag's slogan of saying "Hold my pocket."
Oh my god, you didn't?
Yeah.
I don't remember you having that. Wow.
Well, yeah, I never wore it out. I wore it like indoors, and you're not going to hold like. Okay, if people don't know about Teabag was a bisexual prison nutter, and he was really, what a great character. But so he would have this sort of young boy prisoner that would hold onto his pocket, sort of as his kind of like sex slave or something. Mm-hmm. So like he'd hang out his pocket and he'd go, hold my pocket. And I used to have that on a t-shirt. So
wow, that's shocking.
Yeah.
That's shocking.
That's funny, man. That's cool. But
there is a problem with Prison Break, because I do like to put out, when there's all these programs and they're brilliant, this, that, and the other, but there's always a problem with them. And the big problem for Prison Break is they would have never, ever, ever sent the brothers to the same prison. Never.
Why have you got looking so deep into it?
No, I do, because I like to pick holes and stuff. I really do. Because that's the thing, you watch these films, it's like, yeah, that's brilliant, but in real life that would never happen for whatever reason. Well,
obviously for story writing purposes. If it was in the first episodes and he's in the core and he's hoping to get put into that prison and then he actually gets sent to another one, Well, then obviously season 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 does not even get produced, does it? So
yeah, exactly.
You've looked into that too deep. But as stories go,
it's
very, very unique,
yeah.
very wicked. Every episode is absolutely brilliant. The characters are brilliant. But then once season 2 ends, just stop there. Just don't bother after that. So that's my little box set for the week.
Okay, guys, the next topic is Back It Bring, where we bring something back from our past that is now missing from our lives. So, Ben, what have you got?
Was you ever in the Cubs, Dave?
No.
You're never in the Cubs?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did something else that
Brownies.
took up too much of my time. And I was there. It was like you were there like 6 times a week, so I didn't have time to fit it in anything else.
Boosting cars? Was you boosting cars?
No, I don't want to say because it derives from my nickname.
Oh, gymnastics.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, obviously, I'm going to say, and we're getting very close to revealing what your nickname is as well.
I think we'll give it a few more episodes. So if anyone can guess from gymnastics. But yes, that was literally you had to be gymnastics. Like they would train 6 to 7 times a week. So I was doing that, so I had no time for like Cubs or anything else.
Was that your choice doing gymnastics, or was that sort of pushed onto you?
It was pushed onto me in the fact that I was a very, very hyperactive kid, and my mum was like, "Oh my God, I need something." She thought if I go and take him somewhere that would wear him out, he would then sleep. So she took me to some little gym class in Witten with a friend, and I went for a couple of weeks, and they said, actually, he's quite good at this. We don't think we could probably take him any further. He could actually do this, like go quite far in it. So they said, you should really take him to Heathrow Gymnastics Club, where there was, I think, like a waiting list, and you had to be like audition almost to get a place. And this is like when you were like 5 or 6 years old. Because gymnasts, if you see them in the Olympics, they're young. They're like 14, 15. The peak age is like so young, so you have to start young. And I had the little audition test type thing, and they agreed with the other little place in Witten that I had like a natural little ability for it.
Wow.
And I went with it and I enjoyed it. So it wasn't like pushed on me. It was the fact that my mum took me somewhere for like a club, and I showed promise at it. And then it was something that I did enjoy.
It just feels like this has turned into This Is Your Life, and like Michael Aspinall, wasn't it?
Was that with a red book? Have you got the red book?
Yeah. Just wait there. I've just got something in. I'm joking. Right, let's get back to me, mate, because it is my turn to speak. So down memory lane.
I'll put a sock in it for a while.
No. But if you're ever on holiday with Dave, he does a wicked dolphin dive. It is literally like Free Willy ending scene, and when it breaches that harbour wall, Dave can replicate that out of the water, just as a perfect arch. I'm glad you went to all those gymnastic lessons just for that as well. So
I'm available for bookings if anyone wants to pay for me to go on their holiday and do it.
Yeah, definitely need a pool. Definitely need a pool and a beer. So I would like to bring back something that I could only ever find when we went to Cub Camp, right? So I was in Cubs. I love Cubs. To be fair, like looking back, Cubs was wicked. It's like outdoor learning. It was good, man. It was good. And we went to this camp called Walton Firs quite a lot, maybe once like a term or something. And they used to have this tuck shop. So we used to get like £1 like given to us over the weekend to go spend in the tuck shop. We always used to go to the tuck shop after the assault course. The assault course you'd love the assault course. It was literally just like a hyperactive run off like logs and through tunnels and swings and jump ropes and stuff like that. It's wicked. And we used to go into the tuck shop, and I remember it being like a wooden hut, and I would always go for a beeline for this suite. And outside that top shop, I have never ever seen it anywhere. I've never seen it in a supermarket, in an old shop. I only ever used to get this at the top shop, and I have researched to see if you can get it anywhere. Amazon said they had it. I went on Amazon. I was like, brilliant. Oh, out of stock, or like they don't, sort of out of service. Highland toffee.
Was that like a bit like a Werther's original type thing?
No, and that face in the silence just says that you're not really there in my nostalgic moment. Okay, thanks, Dave.
Highland toffee.
Crush me, mate.
What makes it different from a normal toffee?
It was rock hard. It was one of those where it would break your teeth, you know. But it was the taste of the toffee. It really was it wasn't like your like your toffee out you get your roses, you know, like just your mainstream toffee. This is your underground toffee, all right. This is your like street toffee. I'm joking. It was just. I remember like once you sort of like, because it used to be like a very thin bar, like a Caramac. Do you remember like a Caramac?
Mm-hmm.
Like a thin bar of that, but like hard toffee. So you'd have to like crack a piece with your teeth and then sort of suck it and chew it. But all the flavors would then come out. And it was lovely. I used to buy like a couple of bars. Maybe it was like 20p a bar or something at the time, because it was years ago. But like I said, it was the only place I could ever get Highland toffee. It was the only reason I ever went to the cub camps, really, just to go for the toffee. You know, no, forget your bonfires, forget your gully slides on like
how to tie a knot.
Yeah, forget all that. I just went for the toffee, really. So
and you bring it back even though it break your teeth. Like that is.
Well, I tell you what, actually, on the side note, a sweet actually did break my tooth once. Actually, he pulled a tooth out. Do you remember Reasons chocolate chews?
Yeah, Reese's.
Reasons. Yeah, it was RIESEN. It was like a dark brown or black tube kind of bar, and it was American, and it used to be these blocks of toffee, and they were rock hard. And I remember biting into one, and as I bit into one and opened up my jaw, I felt, hang on, why is there like an airy gap between my teeth? And I was feeling around my tongue and realized there's a gap on my right-hand side upper teeth. And I pulled out the sweet, and my tooth is just literally hanging in the bar.
I think this is life and like the world telling you to keep away from toffees.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just like to live it on the edge, you know, when it comes to toffee. So, but
this hard, breakable teeth toffee stuff doesn't sound.
It's not safe.
I don't know about them.
It's not safe, is it? Well, to be fair, they must have obviously gone past quality control and gone, oh, we've only lost a few teeth during the trial run. Don't worry, out of the millions we sell, that'll be nothing to actually what we're going to make. So
maybe that's why you can't find them anymore, because back then health and safety wasn't a thing. Now health and safety now is mental, so maybe it's just like, nah, you cannot sell them.
I mean, they're probably so hard that you could probably structure. You could use it as a structure for a house or something. I mean, that's how hard it is. But
use honestly, it as an RSJ for an extension.
Yeah, honestly though, if I ever saw them again, I'd buy one just for the nostalgic point. But I would make sure I would heat it in the microwave and turn it into a bit gloop before I break an adult teeth.
Or eat it outside your dentist's.
Yeah, just yeah. I remember your quote, your partial quote from last week. It's not. What did you say about emergencies? It's not my emergency if you haven't prepared yourself for the emergency or something.
Yeah, if you prepared to fail, no, if you haven't prepared, your emergency is not my emergency.
Yeah, so so really, on that note, next time you play rugby, Dave, make sure you're near a first aid, a hospital, really, in case you break your leg or something.
Well, luckily, Teddington, who I play for, there's Teddington Memorial right next to the rugby club. So I think that's careful planning on their part, to be honest.
You can literally just roll yourself there.
They normally have one or two members of Teddington in there after every game. So,
I've watched you a few times down there, and the last time I watched you, I've never seen so many injuries in my life in one half of rugby.
Yeah, I think the last game you did, I mean, obviously this is pre-COVID, so it's going back a couple of years ago now, but yeah, the last time you did come and see me, I do remember the game being full of injuries, and I think there wasn't many subs left by the end of like the first 20 minutes. 20
oh no,
minutes.
it was literally, I think one guy came off and I think they were shouting to him, he's gonna have to go back on because you were like down to like 12 or something at the time. It's like you're gonna have to just soldier on and just limp around us. And yeah, and the other team did not let up. They did not let up whatsoever. They were ruthless.
You don't need the sport. You're there to win. It's not there.
No, and rugby's one of those sports where if you don't let up, you're going to get hurt yourself. And they were literally that was a massacre. Anyway, what would you like to bring back into the 21st century, Dave?
Well, it's going to be a bit confusing because it's kind of already here, but it's different. So what I would bring back is Top Gear.
Okay.
And why I say I'll bring it back, because Top Gear nowadays is not Top Gear.
Oh.
Top Gear was with Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond and James May. That was Top Gear. The Top Gear now is just, it's not the same. I've tried to watch it, and with the new cast, I don't want to mention their names. It's irrelevant. It's not Top Gear. So the problem for me is, obviously, for people that don't know, Jeremy Clarkson and the other two left because Clarkson was out filming. They've been out filming the whole day. They've come back to the hotel, and he was told that because they're late back, the kitchen was closed, here's some sandwiches, and he punched someone because he wanted hot food. So that's probably a bit of an exaggeration, over-exaggeration. Maybe you shouldn't hit someone for a sandwich rather than hot food. But that's beside the point. So they left because of that. Well, Clarkson was going to get the sack, and the other two said, we're not doing it without him, so we'll walk with him. And then they've kept Top Gear going. The new cast have come in, but they've kept it the same, and it's too similar, and the way it's filmed and the jokes and that kind of stuff, it's someone doing someone else's job that can't do it the same.
Like an impression of the show.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. Listeners, people say that I look like Daniel Ricciardo, but if I jumped into his car, I can't drive like Daniel Ricciardo. I'm just going to do a worse job. And that's what the cast of Top Gear, the new cast of Top Gear, have done to Top Gear. And that's why, I mean, the Grand Tour, so obviously Jeremy Clarkson and the other two have gone away and done the Grand Tour, which I like, but they're not doing the whole studio thing anymore. It's only like the really, they do like the big experiences, the big tours now, and that's it. And then they did one on boats. So okay, it hasn't got the whole sort of car vibe. I like the ones that they do the tours, but I also want them to do the other little bits about the cars, the car tests, the reviews, and that kind of stuff as well. That's missing. And also, they've made a shitload of money. What they got signed for Amazon to go and do that. So they're laughing. They're never coming back. But yeah, I'd like the old Top Gear to come back with those three to do like the car reviews and stuff. Element that's missing.
So what could for you this new cast of presenters do to pull you back in? I mean, does the format of Top Gear, does it need to be rebranded, renamed? I mean, what would pull you back in to maybe possibly watch it again?
What they should have done is they should have gone, right, Top Gear's done, and brought a new car show, new name, with the new cast, and done what they want to do, rather than just fit. It's like they're fitting in, trying to fit square pegs in round holes. It just doesn't, for me, it just doesn't work. I don't like it. I never watch it. I've given it a few tries, and it's just not the same. It's just not the same.
Do you feel, because obviously you have quite a lot of few car mates as well, do they feel, is there a similar feeling in the car community towards this new brand of Top Gear, or is it a bit hit and miss with everyone?
I don't think so. The I don't think so. I think they still watch it. Maybe that's just for the car reviews or whatever, and maybe they don't mind the new presenters as much as I do. I can't really warm to it because I just remember what I perceive as the good times with the old cast. And I was actually on, going slightly off topic, I was on a training course last week, and our brains are actually designed not to like change, so I don't feel too bad. It's actually true. You have to force yourself into like doing like allowing change to happen and put in certain steps to change is easier for you. And I'm not prepared to put in any steps or changes to like the new Top Gear.
So the thing that you learned at your training course was, I'm not changing for anyone. I'm not changing. I'm not taking all this. Like, what are you on about? Like,
no. If I see it as worthwhile. So he was talking about good habits and stuff. So if you want to get up early and you get up early, then you can reward yourself with a coffee. If you don't get up early, don't reward yourself with your nice coffee. But I'm not trying to put anything in place of, if I watch the new Top Gear, I'll have a beer or something. I don't need to reward myself for watching the new Top Gear because I don't want to watch it.
It's very, because like I said, you're a car nut, and you've had a lot of experience of cars, like being with them and doing them up and just being around that community. And so you're very well placed to kind of give a good critical review of obviously their presenter lineup at the moment. And I've only watched it a couple of times. I'm with you, mate. I was bored. I turned it off. Didn't bother watching it. And then at the same time, though, I tried to watch the Grand Tour when they're doing like I only watched like one, and it had this big, massive tent in the middle of like a desert, and I found it very weird. I didn't warm to it, and I think at its peak, we all used to watch it with their massive journey, like the Bugatti Veyron racing the plane and stuff like that. I mean, it was those little like races and stuff were quite fun. And you can't once that ship has sailed, you can't expect it to come back to dock, really, can you?
No.
So I'm with you, mate. They should have rebranded. They should have renamed.
Yep, done it different.
Top Gear should have just become No Gear.